You want to start your business, but the paperwork, the rules, and all the legal jargon are already making your head spin. Well, Florida might just be the best place to set up an LLC, but only if you know exactly how to do it right. So in this video, I'll walk you through the steps, the shortcuts, and all the common mistakes so that you can launch your business confidently without wasting time or money. And there's one step where scammers are going to try to steal money from you in this process too. So stay tuned to learn more about what that is, because it's really a super common problem. If you want to keep more of your business profits, Florida is tough to beat. There's no state income tax for LLCs, so your earnings pass straight to you without an extra state tax bill. You also get personal asset protection, so your house, car, and savings are generally shielded from business debts or lawsuits as well. Now, starting an LLC here, it's quick, it's simple, and it's affordable, with less paperwork and fewer ongoing requirements than many other states in the US. Plus, Florida's business community, it is booming because over 99% of businesses in the state are small businesses, and Florida consistently ranks among the top states for new business growth. So in short, Florida makes it easy and cost-effective to launch and protect your business. But to really get started, you need to take the first step, which is choosing a LLC business name. Now, before we jump in too deep here, here's one thing to keep in mind. Starting your business, it should be exciting and not overwhelming. But forming an LLC on your own, it can get really confusing fast with all the legal rules and forms and easy to miss details. Now, I'll walk you through everything in this video here, but if any part of this feels confusing, I've got a favorite LLC formation service that makes the whole process super simple and stress-free. It's guided, beginner-friendly, and it only costs $39. So if you hit any bumps along the way, just click right up here to get step-by-step help setting up your LLC the easy way. So first, let's talk about picking the perfect name for your Florida LLC. Well, first, Florida law states that your LLC's name must include limited liability company, LLC, or L period C period at the end. You can also use variations like LTD period or liability co or limited liability co, but most people just stick with LLC because it's simple and recognizable. Your name must also be unique. That means that it can't be the same as or even close or similar to another business that's already registered in Florida. So you can't just add a word or change "and" to the "and" sign or use a different punctuation mark to get around this rule. The state wants to make sure that customers don't get confused, so you'll need to check if your name is available using the free SunBiz search tool, which you can find a link to in the description below, along with any other resource that I mentioned throughout this video. Now, there are a few things that you can't do. So don't use words that make your business, sound like a government agency like FBI or Treasury or anything like that. And avoid names that don't match what your business actually does. Now, once you've found a name that's available and follows the rules that are required, you're ready to take the next step in the process, which is really important, and that's finding the right registered agent. So here's a step that can make or break your LLC setup, and that is choosing your registered agent. In Florida, every LLC must have a registered agent, which is a person or company with a physical address in the state who's responsible for receiving legal documents and official notices. Now, if you skip this or get it wrong, your business could face fines or even lose its good standing. Now, you could be your own registered agent if you're over 18, have a Florida street address, no PO boxes are allowed, and are available during business hours. But your address will become public if you do that, and you have to be ready to accept important documents at any time. And that's a hassle if you travel or work odd hours or just want to keep your home address private. And that's why I have used and personally recommend Northwest Registered Agent. And here's why. So from a privacy perspective, they use their business address, so your personal info stays off of public records. Customer support, real experts will answer your questions quickly and clearly. There will be no sales pitches, just help as you're working through this. Also, transparent pricing, so $39 plus state fees to form your LLC, which is a heck of a deal. Reliability, they have same-day document scanning and forwarding, so you really will not miss anything that's important. And lastly, they have great reviews, consistently high ratings for the service and reliability. So if you want to check them out, you can go ahead and click right up here to learn more. And if you're ready to make your LLC official, well, next I'll show you how to file your articles of organization and you need to get this right in order to form your LLC, so make sure that you pay attention in the next section. Your articles of organization is the legal document that tells the state, hey, I'm starting a business. And now you'll need to gather a few key details before you start. So the state asks for your LLC's name, and you want to make sure that that's available and follows the rules, your principal business address, your registered agent's name and address, and the names and addresses of your LLC members and managers. Double check everything. Whatever you submit here becomes public record, so accuracy really, really matters. And filing is super straightforward, so you can do it all online through Florida's SunBiz website, or you can mail in the paperwork if you prefer as well. Most people, they'll just go with the online route because it's much faster, and approval usually takes about 5 business days online, or up to 12 days if you mail it in. The state charges a one-time fee of $125, which covers both the articles of organization and the registered agent designation. And once you hit submit and pay that fee, you'll get a confirmation from the state. And that's when your LLC officially exists. So if you want a fancy certificate or a certified copy, there are some optional extras for a small fee, but most new business owners skip them. You don't really need that. So if you're ready for the next step here, let's talk about why an operating agreement is a smart move, even though Florida does not require one. So here's a step that most new business owners overlook, but it can save you a ton of headaches down the road. And that is creating an operating agreement for your Florida LLC. Think of it as your LLC's rulebook, right? It covers things like ownership percentages, so who owns how much of the business, voting rights and management structure, so who makes decisions and how do they make them, how profits and losses are split, what happens if a member leaves or wants to sell or passes away, also the rules for meetings and big decisions as well. And lastly, how to dissolve the business if it's needed. Now, without an operating agreement, Florida's default rules will kick in, and those might not match what you and your partners actually want. So for example, the state could assume that everyone has, equal ownership and equal voting power, even if one person invested way more money than everyone else. So even if you're a solo business owner, having this document, it helps prove that your LLC is real as well. And it's a separate entity, which will protect you from, any lawsuits, and it'll protect your personal assets. And the best part, you don't need to get a lawyer for this to get started. There's plenty of free templates using AI or just online in general that you can customize for your business. So next up, let's talk about getting your EIN, because you'll need it to open a bank account and do the thing that the government really cares about, which is pay your taxes. So this is a step that trips up a lot of new business owners, and that's getting the EIN, or as it's called, the employer identification number. So you can think of it as like a social security number for your business, right? It's how the IRS tracks your company for tax purposes. Now, if your LLC has more than one member or you plan to hire employees, you're required to have an EIN. Even if you're a single member LLC, most banks will ask for your EIN before letting you open up a bank account, and it helps keep your personal info private. Now, the good news here, getting an EIN is free and fast. The easiest way is to apply online through the official IRS website, and you'll answer a few different questions about your business, and if everything checks out, then you'll get your EIN immediately. There's no waiting around for paperwork or anything like that. And you can also apply by fax or by mail using Form SS4, but those methods, they just take longer, up to 4 weeks by mail, so I recommend you do it digitally. Now, as a quick word of caution here, which I hinted at in the intro, don't fall for companies that charge you for the service. The IRS will let you do it for free, so make sure you use their website. Now, to do it, you'll need your LLC's legal name, the address, and the name and social security number of the person that is responsible for the business itself. And make sure that your LLC is officially formed before you apply as well, or your EIN could get linked to the wrong identity. And once you have your EIN, keep it handy. You'll need it for taxes, opening a business bank account, and applying for licenses as well. Now up next, let's talk about the post-formation requirements that keep your LLC in good standing. And if you screw these up, they might dissolve the LLC a year or two into it. So there are a few key steps that you need to take to keep your business in good standing and avoid costly mistakes, right? So first up is the annual report. So every Florida LLC must file an annual report with the state between January 1st and May 1st each year. This keeps your business info up to date and costs $138.75. Miss a deadline, the state will tack on a $400 late fee, and if you ignore it long enough, your LLC could be dissolved, so don't ignore it. Next, check if you need any local business permits or licenses. Florida, they don't require a statewide business license, but most cities and counties do require that. So this is usually called a business tax receipt, and you may need one from both your city and your county as well. If your business is in a regulated industry like construction or food service or healthcare, you'll need special state licenses too. And don't forget to open up a business bank account. So this keeps your business and your personal finances separate, which is absolutely crucial for protecting your personal assets and making tax time way less stressful. And finally, make sure that you stay organized. So keep good records, track deadlines, and renew any required licenses or permits on time. That way you will avoid penalties and keep your LLC running smoothly. Now, if you're curious about what all these steps will cost you each year, it's a good question. Stick around here, we'll break down the numbers in the next section. So let's talk about the costs. So to form your LLC, you'll pay a one-time state filing fee for $125. This covers both the articles of organization and the required registered agent designation. And if you want to reserve your business name as well before you file, that'll be an optional $25, but most people, they just check the name for availability at the time for free. If you hire a professional registered agent, you can expect to pay around $39 and state fees the first year, followed by $125 per year, assuming that you use Northwest registered agents. Now you could be your own registered agent as well for free if you have a Florida street address and are available during business hours. And every year, you'll need to file an annual report to keep your LLC active. This costs, as I said earlier, $138.75, and it is due by May 1st. And if you miss that deadline, $400 late fee, so don't miss it. And if you want to operate under a different name than your LLC's legal name, you'll also need to register a fictitious name or a DBA, doing business as, for $50. This is only necessary if you want to use a separate brand name, so it's definitely an optional thing. Business licenses or permits, they aren't required at the state level, but again, your city or county might charge you anywhere from $25 to a few $100 per year, depending on your industry and the location. So if you do everything yourself and act as your own registered agent, your minimum startup cost is going to be $125 with $138.75 due each year for the annual report. Optional costs like the DBA, legal help, or business licenses, they depend on your specific needs. Now again, to help with this entire process, I advise you to use a service like Northwest Registered Agents, which again, you can click right up here to check out, as they will help you stay in compliance year after year as you are trying to run a profitable business. Now, if you have any questions for me or you're a little bit confused about something, no problem. Just drop me a comment below and I will do my absolute best to help you out as soon as possible. As always, thanks for watching and I'll see you in the next video.